And if you do it right, they're going to stay with you and they're going to keep buying because you have something that they need. And as long as you sell them that, as long as you make sure that you are in it for them, then it will return to you.
Mm-hmm. With the clients that you work with, I'm curious, when they hit resistance or suddenly they're fearful about putting something into place or even trying something new, do you have advice or tips that you give them to get past their fear and resistance?
So remember I told you earlier that I'm a really nice person, but I'm really hard on my clients. Mm-hmm. That's where that comes into place. So, I have this thing, so they have that, I love adages, so you'll hear that a lot, but, so you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm that person that stands there and shoves your head in the water and then brings you back up and says, are you ready to work yet? Because, I have clients that call me crying. I have clients that call me and just say, how much money do I need to give you to make this happen? Mm-hmm. And I have clients that pay me just to sit next to them while they work so they actually do it. Now, granted, that's not how I want to make my money. Mm-hmm. But if that's what you need, if you need to put money into something it's kind of how I am with the gym. If I'm not paying for a gym membership, I'm not going to go.
Right.
But if I'm paying for a gym membership, that motivates me to go because I know that I'm paying for it. Mm-hmm. And so, hey, if that's how my clients feel about me, I will take it because they will work with me all day long, every day. And when we get done with our initial product or project, and I'm like, all right, well, we're done with this. You tell me when you're ready to go and start working on your wish list. Yeah. And my clients, past, present, future, all hear from me every single month. So every single month they get an email from me that says, hey, I've got time open in a couple of weeks. Do you need anything? And here's my scheduling link. So if I have people that have been on my list for 2 years. And all of a sudden, I will see a meeting pop up on my calendar, and I'm like, holy crap, I haven't talked to that person in 2 years. But they become a $2,000 client because now they've decided that they have a pain that needs to be solved.
Right.
And I'm completely okay with that because all I had to do was set up some automation in my business to make that happen. And it doesn't have to be like crazy elaborate. It's not the stuff you see on TV, folks. It's about having the right message and putting it behind a system and then starting to feed that system. Mm-hmm. And then it grows and then it turns around and says, oh, by the way, I need your stuff now. But that's your know, like, and trust. You have to learn to build that credibility with the people that you might meet once or the people that you see every day. And eventually somebody is going to, a whole crap load of people are going to say, yes, I need that. And now you have something that's at my price point. And some people price themselves too low and some people price themselves too high. And if you have a product that is based off of the same thing that can fall into all of those, too high, too low, and right in the middle, you will find somebody that will buy every single one of those. You just need to know how to position yourself and where. And that all comes from having a process in place and knowing your value. So, does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. So with the work that you do with your clients, actually in your own personal business, are there particular books or training courses that you recommend or see more frequently than others that you then, push other people to read this book or take this course or listen to this person?
So no, I'm not one of those people. So my entire business is essentially what is based off of like the E-Myth. Mm-hmm. And learning what your place is in your business and how to manage all of that. But I don't tell anybody that, please don't go and have to read all those books, because heck, there's so many things out there that I could tell you to go see and read and do, but really I just want you to work. I want you to extract what it is that you're doing so you can just make it better. And there aren't any books out there about that. There's books that say go build a course and this is how you can build a course. And there's courses out there on everything. Mm-hmm. But what I would say is know yourself, know your business inside and out, and know your strengths and your weaknesses. And make sure that you put people and things in place that cater to your weaknesses so that you can focus on your strengths. And I want you to take the time in your life to build that piece of your business that is going to be the hardest thing for you ever to do. Because a book isn't going to teach you that. A book might give you the ideology behind, this is a word for what you're feeling. It's kind of like Fascinate for me. It's a word behind what I'm feeling. I could never describe myself as a goal-oriented project architect, but when I say that in a group, they're like, wow, that's awesome. I mean, that's only the first half of my thing because I haven't figured out the second half really yet. Mm-hmm. But, my first draft of that was goal-oriented implementation specialist that helps you build a business that can run without you. But that's it doesn't flow well enough for me, so I need to revamp it. But that's kind of like where I started. And that's what I want all of you guys out there that are listening to this and you have your businesses. You don't have to listen to what all of these other courses and books and everything say, because they're not going to be exactly what you need. Now, you may have takeaways for all of them. All of the podcasts you listen to and all of the books you read and all of this knowledge that comes in, there's so many takeaways. But if you're not going to implement those takeaways, it's not worth doing the education. And if you're not in a position with time, money, or energy to implement, then don't bother. Those books and those courses and those everything are still going to be there when you do. If you need to focus on your business to get yourself where you're at, you need to focus on your processes. You need to figure out what can be automated, and you need to figure out how in the heck you're going to manage to delegate. Because the whole point of all of those implementation things is to get you into one of those, automation, delegation, or elimination. Mm-hmm. And you're not implementing. My very first client was actually a business owner organization and with 300 business owner members. And there was so much amazing education as part of this organization. And I saw people every single day, or not every single day, 15 times a month, come to one of these events and write in notebooks or type on their tablet notes from this education. And did any of them implement? No. We ran big events that were vendor events all of the people that paid $300, $400, $500 to be there as a vendor. I make it a point, because I do event planning and logistics, I made it a point to go put my business card in every one of their fish bowls, which I told them they needed to have. And how many emails out of 50 vendors did I get after the event? 1. So all 49 of those other vendors didn't bother to follow up on their sales process when they had just shelled out $500 to be there. Mm-hmm. Who does that? Who spends $500 for no leads? But then they're the first ones to tell me that they can't hire a bookkeeper to save themselves $1,500 a month. Mm-hmm. So it's a fine line. You know, we pay for what we want to pay for, not necessarily what we should be paying for. Mm-hmm. And it's just the way that our brains work, especially in America, where, you know, the money is what it is and the opportunities are what they are. And we all have a little bit of a skewed view based on our past and our history of what these things mean. And that's a whole different conversation. But when you start thinking about your business and how to build it and grow it, the first thing you think of is, I don't have time to do any of this. You know, I've got 3 kids and I've got the business and I've got to deal with my husband and or my wife or whatever. And I've got to make all of this happen and I just don't have time to do anything else. Mm-hmm. Well, I had a mom of 3 yesterday that I was talking to, and she has all of this stuff that she needs to implement in order to go to the next phase of her business, which could make her a crap ton of money. And she's like, well, how long will it take me to get this done? And I said, how long have you been working on your media kit? And she said, 4 months. And I said, you'll never get it done. I said, but if you will take a day and put all of your kids with a babysitter or your husband, and, you know, just get rid of every outside distraction and take yourself to a hotel or the beach or something and just work. Mm-hmm. You will get in the flow. And I'm like, I could finish all of this in one day if I had the information that was in your brain. So you can sit down and you can finish every single thing in one really, really long and hard day. Yeah. Without any distractions. So the question is will she do it? Will she take one day away from her family to give her family security with her business for a year? I don't know. I'll see when she calls me in a week or a month.
Okay.
It tells me when that she's ready to start the implementation process.
Yeah.
You know, and she may call me tomorrow and say, all right, I'm going to the beach on Sunday. I'll see you on Monday. Okay. But it may take her a month. It may take her 6 weeks. I don't force my clients to do anything on a timetable that they're not comfortable with, because that stifles the creativity. Mm-hmm. And if they tell me they want me to check in with them on a weekly basis, I will. If they tell me that they need me to sit next to them while they do it, okay. You know, that's my business and that's what I do. I'm here to essentially be your boss and to be to be that person that you don't have because you're an entrepreneur. Yeah. And you don't want on a full-time basis because you're an entrepreneur. You only need it when you need it. And so that's where all of that comes in.
Mm-hmm. What would you say is the best advice you've ever received?
So I've been thinking about this because, you know, you sent me the question beforehand, and I feel very privileged for that. And really, the best advice that I have ever received has been to suck it up. And I used to get told that growing up every day. Suck it up. And it's really funny how you turn into your parents when you hit your 30s. Because I find myself doing the things and saying the things that my parents used to say to me when I was a child, and I do not have children. Mm-hmm. So my clients are my children. And so when they are crying or they are, you know, having troubles because everything's too hard and I just want to, you know, crawl into a hole, it's suck it up. Mm-hmm. Because this is a temporary situation. And you know that you're going to get out of it. And believe me, I have been in plenty of temporary situations. And I've been in situations where the temporary was like a 6-month deal. But you have to suck it up and you have to go on and you have to fail fast. Because there are things that you are going to try in your business that are not going to work.